WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Following a string of mass shootings, America's largest retailer and a major grocery store chain are putting new rules in place.
That's why Walmart and Kroger are making changes in how they allow their customers to no longer handle guns and ammunition in stores nationwide. Our Stephanie Poole is live in Columbus with more.
Yes, these changes may cause some blowback with their customers, but both companies say they're focused on safety. Locally, some of their competitors are loading up for new opportunities. Walmart and Kroger are taking steps to protect their customers. Both companies are now asking shoppers to stop openly carrying firearms in their stores. Attorney Jeff Hosford of Hosford Law Firm says the businesses are protected by the Mississippi Code to enforce the policy.
The law basically says that if they post a notice saying you can't open carry a pistol or a revolver in their store, then you're prevented from doing so. Basically, they would then at that point be able to charge you with a violation of the law, and the police will be up to the police to prosecute you or them to press charges through the police department.
Hosford adds law enforcement is the only group excluded from these changes.
The person who owns the business, obviously in this situation, is exercising what rights were given it under the state law of Mississippi. At that point, people have a decision to make. Do they want to continue to go to that business, or do they choose not to go to that business because of the viewpoint that they've taken in what it amounts to a public policy decision?
Walmart is going one step further. The retail superpower will stop selling certain calibers of ammunition. If customers choose to shop elsewhere, one area business is already prepared.
I think maybe it'll be an increase in handgun ammo. Since they no longer carry it, and we will stock it, and we'll keep them upstocked here.
Odie Keem of Western Auto is hoping a drop-off in sales at Walmart could possibly lead to a spike in their sales.
We have a pretty reliable group of people that shop with us to start with, but I really feel like the handgun sales in ammo probably will be a lot better since they can't buy it there.
While there's much debate about the new policy, Keem is looking forward to making permanent customers from the new policy.
We have a great loyal fan base to start with, and they come see us all the time, and we hope we'll get some new ones from this.
Walmart and Kroger have not yet released any other information. Reporting live in Columbus, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
A man accused of secretly recording people in a home goes to trial. Richard Dobbins is charged with 2 counts of filming another person without permission for lewd purposes. Dobbins was arrested in June 2017. Lowndes County investigators say a recording device was found in the bathroom of the home. Other electronic equipment was also seized in the investigation. Dobbins' trial started today.
The Lowndes County Sheriff's Office is asking for information on a mother and child who've not been seen in almost a month. 24-year-old Leah Carmen and her 3-year-old daughter, Adeline Tarina Jean Owens, were last seen August 5th leaving a house on Henry Road. They have not been heard from since. A report was filed with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office on August 29th. If you have any information on Carmen or Owens, please call the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office.
8 companies could face over $3 million in fines for violating Mississippi's no-coal law. Northern District Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley said an investigation found those 8 companies made 775 illegal calls to Mississippians. If those companies are found guilty, they could be fined $5,000 per call. That could equal over $3.8 million. If you can find a list of companies, you can find it, those list of companies charged on our website, WCBI.com.
10 people are vying to be the next member of the Columbus City Council. The qualifying deadline was this evening. That special election will be held September 24th. Now, if there's a runoff needed, it will be on October 15th. The seat came open after longtime Councilman Gene Taylor died. The people vying for the seat are on your screen. Gene Taylor had served since 2006. Time for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
More sun, more heat out there again for our Wednesday. Current temperatures right around 90 degrees here. So summer holds on, even though Labor Day was just a few days ago. We still have temperatures around 90. Let's factor in that humidity. It feels like when you add that humidity in there, it feels like 97 in Tupelo and Columbus. So it's a warm Wednesday for us, and This pattern is going to continue as we look upstream. There's really not a lot going on. The sun's getting lower in the sky, so we're back into the 80s this evening, eventually 70s. Lows tonight down to around 70, guys. I'm back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Addiction is not confined to any one community. That idea is driving a local organization to branch out in its fight against the disease.
God's House of Hope takes a faith-based approach to treating people addicted to drugs and alcohol. Now the Nettleton-based ministry is expanding its reach in the hopes of bringing new life to former addicts and a former school. Riley Livingston has more.
God's House of Hope specializes in helping people recover from addiction. Now they are setting their sights on helping even more people and helping them for free.
What we actually do is, it's the drug and alcohol part or any disorder that blocks you from Jesus, teaches them how to live everyday life, how to fight spiritual warfare. Drugs are just a byproduct of what really happens in life. It's just a cover-up. So here we teach them. They go through counseling, we do work projects, they have it's almost like finishing Bible college.
The nonprofit organization is also bringing a revival to the former Montgomery County Elementary School.
We were blessed that it happened fairly quickly after the consolidation too, because like I said, it's God's House of Hope is able to give a facility that's not dilapidated, and there's a lot of work to be done, painting and refurbishing rooms and that sort of thing, but can be done without major construction.
Amy Coyle says the goal is to have staff set up at the beginning of October and the center officially opening its doors in February 2020.
And we look forward to getting up and getting our hands dirty. I was telling them earlier, you know, if one person is saved through this process, that's what our goal is, because the word says, you know, he leaves 99 just for one. And we've seen so many miracles and testimonies just in Nettleton of the lives that have been changed and saved. So we're pretty ecstatic about what's about to happen here.
Of course, not all of the help is coming from above. The community is also stepping up to move their mission forward.
The beds have already been donated by a pastor back at home, Pastor Stanley, Brother Stanley. Mattresses have already been donated for the facility. Sheets have already been donated. I mean, it's only been a week that we've actually owned the property, and things are just lining up.
The center runs strictly on donations and receives no state or government assistance. For more information, you can visit our website, wcbi.com.
A teacher is bringing his brand of harmony to Hamilton.
Strike up the band. We have a musical educator of the week when we come back.
Welcome back. A small band can make a big noise on the football field if it has the right person leading it. At Hamilton High School, that person is Michael Williams. He's our educator of the week. In his first year as band director, Williams has already helped the group win a championship title. He says his students set the bar and he pushes them higher and higher each time. But the best part, he says, is seeing and hearing them play in harmony.
I just love to be able to see them light up just as much as I do from congratulations, you achieved it. They've set high goals for themselves, and I keep telling them that we're just going to keep setting the bar higher and higher, and if they can achieve that, I'm just going to keep raising it and raising it.
And if you'd like to nominate your favorite teacher, go to our website, wcbi.com.
Hundreds of volunteers spend the morning sprucing up Starkville. The partnership coordinated the annual Get Swept Up to prepare for Mississippi State's home opener this Saturday. More than 500 volunteers grabbed gloves, shovels, and trash bags and headed out to various outdoor areas. They spent a few hours picking up trash, trimming shrubs, and pulling weeds. Andrea, you were out there as well. All morning, businesses, civic organizations, and individuals all volunteered their time.
We have a nice night on tap for us here on our Wednesday night. Upper 60s, low 70s here. We stay mild, but overall for the next week, we stay sunny and hot. The full 7-8 is next.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Here's our Off Insurance Camera Network. All of that sunshine, Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy. Get out there, make the most of it. Also in Louisville, Mississippi, a great Wednesday evening on tap. So we are sunny, we are hot. And that's going to be the pattern. This big ridge of high pressure will actually reestablish itself as we go through the weekend and next week and get centered right over us. So I think our temperatures will actually go up as we get into the weekend and next week. Now, the old records right now, about 100 to 110, so this is not unprecedented. I don't think we're going to be into that zone at this point, but it's still going to be plenty warm with highs in the mid to upper 90s. And that's what we have in store for your Saturday football here in Oxford, Starkville, Tuscaloosa. The afternoon games just absolutely scorching, so plan accordingly. Water, sunscreen, hats. The evening game in Oxford is actually looking great once the sun goes down. Things will become more tolerable once that sun, still very powerful, once that sun gets low on the western horizon. Right now we are still in the low 90s in most spots. It feels like 97 to around 102 across the region. There's a series of cold fronts back to the northwest. These will move on through. Little to no impact on our weather here, so we'll just call it a boundary that will move on through. You probably won't even notice it. Now tomorrow may be slightly cooler. If anything, the front coming through here tonight and tomorrow morning will actually stir up the wind a little bit, so it will be a little bit breezier. Winds from the northwest about 10 to 15, but we're still ballparking highs in the 90-degree range after we start off the day around the low 70s here. So here's your city-by-city forecast. We're looking pretty warm for our Thursday. Maybe a few friendly clouds, but at this point we don't really advertise a lot of rain anytime soon. So the latest on Dorian over here just off Georgia and South Carolina. Wind gusts out to sea 50, 60 plus, and right around the eye wall here, especially the eastern eye wall, that's where we're looking at those highest winds, and we're actually sampling the winds in the atmosphere right now. You can see some of those wind speeds up to around 100 plus. The official number there, 110 mile per hour sustained wind, a Category 2 storm moving up the eastern seaboard. You can see it right there, South Carolina, North Carolina over the next 2 days. Back to the northwest where we live, there's one of those fronts trying to sweep on in here, but no real active weather for a while. So let's just show you your forecast. Sunny and hot, mid-90s for the weekend, maybe mid to upper 90s again next week. No big changes. We may see some rain by the end of next week, but at this point, pretty dry for the next week or so. Andrea?
Tupelo is Northeast Mississippi residents, who want to help those in the Bahamas hit hard by Hurricane Dorian can donate supplies that will be flown to the area next week. Aviation workers at the Tupelo Regional Airport are collecting clothing, water, hygiene items, and other non-perishable supplies for people impacted by the hurricane that, of course, devastated the Bahamas. The drive is called Tupelo Taking Care of the Bahamas, or TCB. The donations can be taken to 120 Lemons Drive, the hangar next to Universal Asset Management. All right, it is time to shine up those cowbells because Mississippi State football returns to Starkville this weekend. The details ahead in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Week 1 and Week 2 of the End Zone blessed us with two big-time rivalry matchups. And Week 3, we have another huge matchup, but this one staying right here in the GTR. It's all about Starkville at West Point for Week 3. The Greenies may have a state championship trophy, but the Yellow Jackets were the only team to deliver West Point a loss in 2018. Starkville coming to West Point after a huge win over Oxford, and West Point coming home with something to prove after the loss to Louisville, both looking for its second win of the season. We'll be live from West Point Friday to get you ready for Week 3 of the End Zone. After Week 2 of End Zone, we decided that 2 student athletes of the week are better than one. TCPS's Kai Holliday and Noah Foster earned the honors after spectacular performances by both guys. Holliday threw for 415 yards and 4 touchdown passes while adding 2 more rushing TDs. And Noah Foster had 8 catches for, get this, 322 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, currently leading the county in receiving yards. Here's what both players had to say about the performance.
It feels good. I'm just blessed to be called Player of the Week, and I love to share it with my wide receiver. I want to thank God for the performance I had, and my linemen. My linemen are everything to the team. They helped me a lot, and thank you to my wide receivers.
My first game went good, but my second game went like a lot better, so I was in shock that I made that many yards and that many catches. We wouldn't be anything if we didn't have our linemen, and Kyle, our quarterback, he just can throw the ball well and throws what wells to me, and that's it.
As of today, the women's basketball season is only 2 months away. And also as of today, the Southeastern Conference finalizing conference schedules for the 2019-2020 season. The SEC champs Mississippi State tips off the season on February 2nd with a matchup in Starkville against the Florida Gators. The Bulldogs will also play Ole Miss, Georgia, and Auburn twice this season, both home and away games. And make sure you mark your calendar for January 20th. The always anticipated matchup between State and South Carolina will be in Columbia on January 20th. Ole Miss, under second-year head coach Yo, hosts Georgia on February 2nd to begin its season. The Rebels will play home and away games against Tennessee, Missouri, and, of course, Mississippi State. A game to note for Ole Miss, a home matchup against Kentucky on February 20th. The Rebels beat the 16th-ranked Wildcats for its first SEC win last season. Mississippi State hosts its home opener for the 2019 season this Saturday against Southern Miss. It's time for fans to dust off those cowbells and get some practice in of their own. State will host its 9th annual Cowbell Yell to kick off the season at Davis-Wade Stadium. The event begins at 9 p.m. on Thursday. It is free and open to everyone. And while with temperatures expected in the mid-90s this weekend, MSU preparing to make sure fans stay safe. Fans will be allowed to bring 1 clear, colorless, full or empty water bottle per person into Davis-Wade. Non-clear, color, tinted, or stainless bottles are not permitted. There will be free water bottle refill stations, as well as air-conditioned buses and rest stations. That's it for Sports. The last look at your forecast is after the break.
If you missed it, we have more sun, more heat coming our way. Maybe not as hot tomorrow on Thursday, but look at this. We're back into the low 90s on Friday, 93, 95 Saturday and Sunday. Plenty of sunshine here. Next week, too, probably mid to upper 90s, so stay cool, stay hydrated for at least the next week.
All right, nice to know that Mississippi State will let people bring the water bottles in for the game Saturday.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need it. 95. And as Keith was mentioning off camera, a lot hotter in the direct sunlight. Thanks for joining us.